So I've now seen the first episode of the most controversial show currently on HBO Max, Velma. And what I'm going to say may shock you, it may even horrify you, and it's that it's just fine. I guess I'll preface with this: when it comes to like a Scooby-Doo project or like any other franchise that may have a lot of iterations, like a Mickey Mouse or like a DuckTales, and it's that they don't all have to have the same characters within there. I can watch something and be cool with it. There was like a 2018 film with Daphne and Velma that, it's fine. There's a lot of different versions of Spider-Man, a lot of different versions of Batman, different people like that, and I'm saying it's fine that these aren't the same characters. I do not have a problem with that. My favorite Scooby-Doos are like Scooby-Doos where they change up the formula. Mystery Incorporated, Love Zombie Island. I'm a very basic Scooby-Doo guy. A pup named Scooby-Doo. I loved that show as a kid. I've never seen Scoob, it really didn't interest me, but that also would count as something where they kind of changed up the formula a little bit. But when scrolling all over like Twitter and stuff, you would think this was another coming of Big Mouth the way people are talking about it. But when I turn it on and watch it, it's just boring. It's not bad. The animation actually looks really good, and like the mystery aspect is quite interesting, but like the humor or like everybody in general is just kind of bland. What would you expect from a show like this? So it's hard for me to come up with things to say about this show, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the premise. Velma's being framed for a murder and she has to solve the murder, but she's also has some sort of a PTSD with solving mysteries because her mom left her as a kid and she thought it was her weird mystery solving that made her leave, and it wasn't, and she has this present that her mom left her but she never opened, which is weird because if you're trying to solve a case that your mother left, clearly the first clue would be whatever is in that present, right? Like, it's not just me that thinks that, right? Anyways, not much really happened in this first episode. We basically got an introduction of all of the characters outside of Scooby-Doo, because Scooby-Doo's probably not going to be in the show. But we saw Daphne, who's basically just a mean girl, Fred, who's basically just a rich guy with daddy issues, and Shaggy, aka Norville, who's basically just a guy who has a crush on Velma. I'm very much so putting their character traits down to like just one thing that I think makes them stand out, or that I've noticed from them so far from this first episode, and that's like the only thing that stood out in this episode is that one thing from them. But when it comes to this first episode itself, I don't really have an issue with it. I think it might have been overblown or overhated because I don't know, it's just a show. Like originally when things first started coming out about this, I wasn't interested in it in the slightest. But so many people are talking about this show that I feel like I have to say something, and what I'm saying is that it's just a show. I'm really having a hard time of coming up with things to say about this first episode. I'm going to watch the second episode and try to say stuff about that one, but for right now, thank you guys for watching. This was a kind of boring episode, but the case seems a little, curious. So I will continue watching it just for the case. And nobody's character really seems fleshed out really except for Velma's. And obviously because she's the main character, so I'm going to keep watching it to see what changes, whose characters get developed, what does this case turn into. But Jesus Christ, I don't think the comedy in here is good. I do not think the comedy in here is good. I don't think the dialogue in here is all that good either, to be honest. I guess I should really just say it's a decent show with bad writing. That's something I should say. But yeah, with that being said, I'll see each and every one of you around next time. Okay, goodbye.